Hello everybody. In this video, we shall see the concept of database design. So, database design is one of the very important activities of the project development or a software development life cycle. So, basically, here you are under a design stage wherein you have to be very clear about what is the database you are using and what are the tables you are going to create under that database, and how are you connecting your database to the interface, and from the interface how are you giving the reports to the user to the front end. So basically database is the back end. Front end, you have got various other tools normally people use to develop, and they use some interface languages to connect front end along with the database. And then decision of a database is also very important. Like you can go for MySQL, you can go for MongoDB, or you can go for NoSQL, you can go for Oracle, SQL Server. Like this, you have several databases which are available. So you have to identify which is a more suitable database for developing your project. So normally, when the students go for the project work, normally they go for MySQL as a database. So what is a database? A database is a collection of related data which can be of any size and any complexity. So by using the concept of database, we can easily store and retrieve the data. The purpose of the database is to store the data and retrieve the data. And the major purpose of a database is to provide the information which utilizes it with the information that the system needs according to its own requirements. So the purpose of the database is to provide the information and utilize those with the information that system needs according to its own requirements. So basically, many of the cases, the entries in the database play a very important role. For example, if you want to book an online ticket, now database plays a very important role. Why? The data which is stored in the database will say whether the seat is available or not, the ticket is available or not, the particular seat is booked or not. So these kind of very important information a database is able to provide, so that suppose after the ticket is booked, a person can refer to the database at any time during his journey, or when the ticket TT comes to check your ticket, he can show the details by referring to the database. So database plays a very important role in the software development. Now, database design. Why the database design is so important? So, the database design is done before building it to meet the needs of the end users within a given information system that the database is intended to support. So, the database design defines the need of data and data structures that such a database comprises. So you can definitely design by making use of the various providers like MySQL, MongoDB, SQL servers, etc. So database design is done for the various activities of the software to store the data and to provide the services of the data. Now, what are the steps involved in database design? First step is identify the platform on which you are going to develop a database. Either you are going to develop a database under MySQL, MongoDB, or any other platform. Then create a database in that selected platform. Suppose if you are creating a database in MySQL, create the database in just MySQL. So create the database under MySQL, single database. Then identify the number of tables to be created. So it depends upon your SRS. Here also, software requirements and specifications play a very important role. So identify the number of tables. What are the tables you require? What are the tables you are using to create? So by referring to the software requirements specification, you will be able to identify the tables. So for example, you can create tables like admin, customer, delivery boy, item, location, order, payment, kitchen, shipping, cart, feedback. So these are all the various data tables which you can create. Please see to it that it is not compulsory that you create n number of tables inside a database. try to minimize the number of tables which you are going to create under a database. You can have any number of fields for a table. A table can have any number of fields, but whenever there is a connectivity between the tables, your primary key, foreign key, all those things must match, and there should be there should not be any confusion about the various fields about of the tables. Normally you have to look into the concept of normalization whenever you create the table. So you create any number of tables, but see to it that you are creating the minimum number of tables under a single database, because connectivity is one issue. Connectivity to the table becomes one issue. Then as you create more number of tables, then runtime you will find a lot of bugs which you may find it difficult to solve it. So keep in your mind that try to minimize the number of tables, and where are you getting the details for the tables? You are getting the details from the tables through the requirements specification. So now you draft the structure of the database. So you name a table. Let us say table name is admin. So what are the fields of the admin? Admin ID is a field. It is of type integer. Size is 50. What is its constraint? It's a primary key. So the description of that is admin ID. So your table must contain all these things. So your document must contain all these things. What is the field name? What is the field type? What is the size of the field? What is the what is the constraints of the field? What is the description of the field? So all these things you have to mention. So normally you have three fields related to the table called admin. Admin ID is one field, admin name is another field, password is one more field. So these are actually required. These are all from where these are taken. These are taken from the admin functional module defined at SRS. So from that you are taking the concept, taking the fields, they are taking the requirements, and you are converting those requirements into fields. So this is admin table. This is a table category. Here also all these are the fields which are taken from the requirements what you have written in SRS. You have already written the requirements, type of the requirements, all those things you have mentioned. So through that you are getting all the through the software requirement specification you are getting the details, and these details you are mentioning it over here. See, if you mention the structure of every table, it becomes very easy for the further activity. So here also it is primary key, not null, not null, not null. So if you clearly mention this while programming or while detailed design, you can refer to these tables and then you can go ahead with the programming. So there will not be any confusion in creating or in developing the program at the later stage. So this is the structure of a table. See here also table structure like a customer table, then okay, customer table. So all these fields are there like this. How many tables you require in your project, you have to give the structure of every table, and you have to mention what is the database you are using. Under that database you have to mention these tables. Maybe you have to use php my admin for creating a database. Under that database you have to create the tables. You have to give the structure of these tables referring to this particular structure. So this is how you can create a database at the for the project. Thank you for listening.